Let's face it, it is very likely that at some point we might send a sext or a nude to someone, whether it be a long-term partner or a quick convo over Tinder. Whatever the situation, we need to have our own safety in mind. Although a sext or photograph might seem harmless if we think we can trust the person in the moment, it might all go a bit wrong and in some cases may lead to life-altering situations. Now, often we hear advice to tell us just not to do it and to stay away from getting involved in online sexting behaviour, but we don't think that's very practical advice. Like we've said, we're all likely to do it at some point in the heat of a moment. So here's our top tips on safe sexting. Number 1, understand the laws. Our campaign is based in the UK, so we'll be talking about UK laws at the moment, but the laws do differ from country to country. Often we aren't clear on the difference in law between the age that you can be to consent to sexual activity and the age you have to be to consent to sexual content being shared online. In the UK, the age of consent for sexual activity is 16 years old, but the law says that any sexual content, including sex, from or containing someone aged under the age of 18 is child porn and it is illegal. This includes earning content of yourself if you're under the age of 18. If you are sharing or earn sex or nudes of yourself or someone you know who is under the age of 18, then you are the earner or distributor of child porn, so consider this fact before you hit that send button. Number 2, never feel pressured. Sexting should always be a choice that you have made. If you're about to hit send, consider first, does this person respect your choices and wishes? Are you sending this to keep someone happy? Are you being told that you're frigid or not a team player if you say no? Are you worried or afraid that if you don't send something to this other person, then they might not like you anymore or they might do something nasty in retaliation? If you're unsure about your answers to any of these questions, we wouldn't recommend sending any kind of content to that person. Number 3, do you trust this person? Seriously, do you actually trust this person to respect you enough to keep this sort of thing to themselves? That's not, well, I'd like to think that I can trust them. This is actual trust. Don't send content if you think that they might show your photograph to mates for a laugh or use it against you out of spite after an argument. Think, will they delete this stuff if you ask them to? Number 4, did they ask to see your private parts? Consent applies not just when it comes to being face-to-face with another person, but it can also apply digitally. We are in an age where unsolicited dick pics are really common, and it needs to stop. Only send a nude or a sexually suggestive message if you have seen clear evidence directed at you that that person would enjoy receiving sexual content from you. Remember that if someone has sexually suggestive content on their profile shared with the world, that they won't necessarily want to receive similar content from you privately. Consent is not something for you to decide on yourself. It is something between two people. And it includes sex and nudes. Number 5, safety first. There is no way that you can fully know to trust someone with sex or nudes because people are unpredictable. Even if you're using limited content apps like Snapchat, where you can see if someone has screenshotted your content, you still don't have control. If you're absolutely sure that you want to send this content, you can use photo sharing apps, which make screenshotting and saving content more difficult. You can also make sure your content is anonymous by not showing your face or identifying features, or using an editing app to cover them up. Ultimately, we would all like the results of a sext exchange to just be a little bit of fun with someone that we like, which it can be between two people who share mutual respect and trust for each other. Unfortunately, that's not always how it pans out. As a rule, just don't be that loser who shares other people's sexual content, even if it seems harmless, like a one-line message, and even if you're just showing it your mate on a phone screen. Then on the other side, really consider if it's worth sending the message if you have a doubt that that person you're sending to can be trusted to respect you. The impact of someone sharing your sex or nudes can be beyond what you can expect emotionally or in your daily life for potentially a really long time. Think, have you done everything you can to keep yourself and your content safe? And is it worth sharing? There are some great guides out there for young people to follow on this topic and how to evaluate the consequences. We love BuzzFeed's article on this topic, and it tells you actually how to make sexting as safe as you can. We'll link it below for you. Make sure to share safe content advice with your friends and partners too.